Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Let's clap for the wonderful band, harmonic band. So I just want to turn around to the person seated next to you. Just shake their hand and tell them, please welcome. Tell them welcome so much and make sure they are smiling. Make sure they are smiling because it's a wonderful day. It's a really wonderful day. Thank you so much. So if I may have your attention right now, kindly, I'd like to start. But before I start, I just want to highlight a few things. In-house announcement. One, if you'd like to use the washroom facilities, we do have them. If you use this door where we have this cameraman, if you walk outside, on your right, you'll find the gents, and your left, you'll find the ladies. So if you allow me at this moment, we're here for development training launch, program launch. And just to highlight that, that's BOMA International Hospitality College and Switch Media School and Kenya are commercial enterprises established by the Kenya Red Cross and managed by BOMA Pan-African to support the humanitarian efforts of the society, and the exits as part of the conglomerates of 4 entities that also includes the BOMA Hotels and Emergency Plus Media Services. And on that note, I would like to humbly invite Dr. Ahmed Idris, who is Secretary General, Kenya Red Cross. Tumpigie makofi as he comes on stage. Let's clap for him.
Thank you. That's quite a welcome. The only unfortunate thing is I don't dance and I don't know how to dance, so I'm letting you down. Yeah, let's try. 1, 2, 3, yeah? Okay, let's go. You're letting me down. That's okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the chief guest, distinguished visitors, welcome to the Kenya Red Cross campus. On the program, my role is to welcome you, so it's that simple, karibuni. But because a number of you will think I haven't gone to school, let me make a few remarks so that at least my father can be celebrated for having taken me to school. The best investment we can make is in education. That one everybody says. But for us in the Kenya Red Cross, it has a special significance, the concept of education. It is the best hope for the future. It is what makes people who ordinarily have lived through very, very vulnerable contexts, who have risked their lives, to be able to look forward to a brighter future. And so it is more special for us to be working on an education project than many other institutions. We get donations from many of our donors to address vulnerability in form of aid, but we rarely get support to address the core causes of poverty, the core causes of vulnerability, and to be able to build the resilience of communities. The only reason why, for example, I'm able to stand before you is because my father had the opportunity to go to school. And with that, he gave us the opportunity to study, and that diversified what we call livelihoods in our language, in our context. So the investment in the Switch Media School, the investment in the BOMA Hospitality College, the investment in the Kenya Red Cross Society Institute, for us is an investment in the future. It is an investment in diversifying livelihoods, and it's an investment in the hope of many communities who will have otherwise not had hope. So what we are launching today here has a special and significance for us as a society. Not just our primary shareholding or ownership of the Switch Media School, not our ownership of the Hospitality College, but as a core part of our mandate. So I want to extend on behalf of the Kenya Red Cross Society Board and Management special gratitude to the KCB Foundation for having agreed with our vision and for having been part of that vision. And we will make, we assure you that we'll make the best investment possible in the kids that we intend to serve. Having said that, now that you know I went to school, karibuni, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's clap for him. That was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. So at this moment, I'd like to kindly invite Timo, who is the head of marketing and partnership, to kindly come and introduce the panelists. Tupigie makofi. Round of applause to him, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. So first of all, a warm welcome to BIHC and to Switch Media School. We are honored to have you here, and we thought it would be an interesting perspective to share what we are doing today. And we'd like to engage with you as the audience. And of course, when you're engaging with me, I always have some few goodies for you. So please talk to me. Sawa sawa? Great. So I'd like to introduce my first two panelists. These two gentlemen have been very pivotal to what we're trying to do together with KCB Foundation. The first is Dr. Billy. Dr. Billy is a researcher. He's an educationalist. He spent the last 17 years building on research and innovation, and particularly TVET-based competency training. And one of the things that he's really passionate about is the dual vocational approach and RPL, which we'll talk a little bit about. So kindly join me as we welcome Dr. Billy Wadongo on stage. My next panelist is Mr. Kibisu Mulanda. Mr. Kibisu Mulanda has spent the last close to 20 years in the media space. He's currently the head of technology and production at Switch Media. He's also been a pioneer in his field. So if you know KTN News, the first 24-hour news channel in East Africa, he's actually one of the brainchild behind that. He's also one of the key founding I'd say partners, not just employees and staff that we had when we launched Switch Media or Switch TV, which is the youngest and the biggest youth station, TV station we've actually had in the region. So both these gentlemen, of course, have taught. I know currently Mr. Kibisu is an adjunct faculty member at the University of Nairobi and the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication. I know Dr. Billy has taught extensively PhD students and master's students across some of the most reputable institutions in this country. And we'll try and have an open discussion of why we're here today and what this means to us. So karibuni, gentlemen. So perhaps as we start, it would be good to introduce the entities that you represent. So I'll ask Mr. Kibisu to kindly start. Tell us a little bit about who Switch Media School are and what you do.
If my voice is a bit shaky, it's because for all my working life, I'm always in the background. For some reason, they have found a way of putting me on the stage. So I'll get used to it as we get on with the conversation. So Switch Media School is a TVETA registered institution. Basically, an affiliate of Switch Media Limited. And the idea of Switch Media School was to upskill and skill, offer practical and technical knowledge to youth in the country.
Dr. Wadongo.
Thank you, Tim. Same as Kibisu, I'm not a good speaker. I'm a good writer. Okay? And I'm not a good presenter. You will bear with me. Okay? Boma International Study College is a premier research, training, innovation, research, consulting hub, which is a premier training school in culinary arts and hospitality management in Africa. We offer main programs in culinary arts and hospitality management, of which we believe we are among the best, if not the best, on the continent. We also offer other short courses for individuals who are interested to skill in particular areas for about 10 days. In addition, we have professional development programs, barrister skills, and mixology programs that we would welcome to join. Thank you.
I think, gentlemen, you've created a very interesting perspective on training. And as players who have been in this industry for a long time, if training exists, then why are we here?
First of all, we should acknowledge that there is high unemployment among youth in this country. However, the hospitality sector and the digital media space offers is access pathway for employment, for self-employment, and also for employment of untrained youth. As much as there is, the sector has as much as the sector is an easy access, the sector players, they cry of lack of special skills, and their training gaps, particularly from fresh graduates who don't have the right competence for the job. In addition, there is increased labor migration through cruise ships and also through what you guys call domestic care, but as we call them executive home care. So there is a big demand in that area in our sector. Again, majority of the skilled workers, or what we call the competent workers in the industry, they lack certification, which gives them a problem in terms of mobility, where if they are not moving up the ladder, the young people cannot gain employment. I will ask Kibisu, my colleague, to add something.
I can see a lot of my former colleagues in the crowd, including my senior, Peter Opondo, who is also a good speaker today. And for those people in the digital media space, you'll agree with me that technology is changing every single day. And that has become the bedrock of what has turned the industry upside down. Every single day you wake up, there is basically a new AI tool in the market. So it is up to the practitioners to adapt. And these changes basically have changed the dynamics in the industry, both in training, because if these technological changes are happening every single day, do our institutions have the capacity to be able to teach the students on these changes every single day? I give an example. While I was working at KTN at some point, I went into the edit suite. This is where the final product, after people have gone into the field, come to basically piece together the stories you watch in the evening. And I found a fresh talent who had just come on board, basically trying to put a very small tape into a very big player. That is a gap, and that gap exists up to this very moment. That is the gap we are intending, or rather the Switch Media School is intending to fill. We want to make sure that we leverage on technology, and being a school that has state-of-the-art equipment and personnel who've been in the industry for a long time, we intend to use this opportunity to be able to skill the youth, and we will be talking about basically who is the profile of this person we are training is at some point.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And it's exciting that we are not just making this happen as an institution or two institutions, but we are making this happen through very strategic partners. I can see Mendy representing KCB. Very honored and excited that you could partner with us and open these pathways. I know we're also happy today to also announce, without leading too much, which I know Dr. Billy will share later, is that we also have a separate sort of partnership with the Tourism Fund that touches on additional skilling opportunities. These are fully funded opportunities, and I know we'll get a little bit into this. But gentlemen, for this particular context and for this initiative that we're carrying out, what does training look like? Dr. Ray.
Okay, thank you. Both BIHC and Switch Media School made a case to KCB Foundation, which has been at the forefront of funding initiatives geared towards skilling youth and women towards employment and entrepreneurship. And majority of us TVET institutions, we train, but we don't link with the industry, or we do not look at pathways where we can fund highly talented youth who cannot afford the education. And through this, we were able to have an initiative with a number of discussions, and that's why we are here today. I welcome my colleague to talk about digital media training.
Not too long ago, you had a TV in the house, and the TV in the house wasn't doing as much as the new TV you are buying at the moment is doing. Still, going back to technology, how we are crafting this is, since digital migration, a lot has changed in the field, in the digital media field. Now we have people sitting in their houses and earning without going out. But there are other people who have skills with the problem we've mentioned about unemployment, and they are not earning. This is the opportunity we are talking about. Basically, we intend to skill in 4 critical areas. I'm talking about something called videography. And when I talk about videography, I'm basically talking about creating content from beginning to end, starting with the idea conceptualization, scripting, filming, editing, and link it up to a business sense in the way of teaching our students or those who will be participating in the program on how to translate their skill to money. Secondly, we will be teaching about photography. You might think this is a media thing. It's not. If you have a food business, you need digital marketing. For you to have sufficient and well-done digital marketing, you need to have good material. Good material like good photos. As simple as that. That's where we come in. We also intend to skill in content writing, blogging, vlogging, digital marketing itself, and social media management. Most of us in this hall are on that platform. Some of us are making money. Some of us are not doing anything in those platforms, apart from just sharing data or something else. So that's where we come in, because since we are operating under the KCB Foundation's to Jiajiri program, we should recognize that we are operating in an environment where jobs are hard to come by. How about we just create those jobs ourselves? And the last part we intend to train in is graphic design. Basically, you might know somebody who makes programs, print programs, or or any other design that could go even on social media platforms. That is our entry point into what we are doing and encompasses the digital media entrepreneurship we are talking about. Thank you.
Thank you, Kibisu. Maybe just to throw this back to the audience. Kibisu mentioned 2 exciting terms, blogging versus vlogging. And I'm curious to know who can define the difference. We agreed we talk. Sindio? We tuonge. So I'd like a volunteer, kindly. Yes, there's a lady at the back.
Hello. Blogging is basically interaction with the masses through written media, while vlogging is using videography to try and interact with them. I hope I'm right.
Thank you very much. I also saw another hand up. Still want to give a different perspective? Good. Good. Thank you. So of course, like I mentioned, you do get a token. So thank you very much. Moving back to hospitality, what does training look like for you?
In the hospital sector, we have curated 2 programs. One is DVA. I know when I talk about DVA, it is in my blood. I take 2 hours, then someone asks you what is DVA. So DVA is the dual vocation apprentice approach training program, where 70% of the trainees spend with our placement partners during the training, and only 30% they are in class. It's a unique program that helps us TVETs, while still training, the youth are gaining experience and they're learning the ropes on their work. On the placement partners, it becomes easier to have an understudy so that when an employee leaves abruptly, you have someone who can take over immediately. And the good thing with DVA is that it focuses on youth not in employment, education, and training. And the interesting experience we have had with the pilot studies we have done is that we have even refugees in Kakuma working, but they were displaced, but they cannot move up the ladder, and they are working both in the digital media and also in the hospitality sector. We have piloted this with a number of different funders or partners. We trained 103 youth from Swahili Port, and out of the 103, some of them did not even have Form 4 certificate. Out of the 103, 80% we were able to place them with employment. And the training programs were very unique. We were certifying animators, people who entertain well in Mombasa, kitchen stewards, baristas, and mixologists. No TVET trains people in these unique areas. So that's one of the programs. The second program is recognition of prior learning for experienced staff. And a lot of our staff in Juakal sector and particularly hospitality sector, they do not have certificates, which means that they cannot move up the ladder within the organization, but they have the experience. So RPL recognizes past experience, past volunteer work, past any certifications or trainings you have undergone, so that when you join the program, you can get a full qualification diploma, a degree, or a certificate without coming back to class for 2 or 3 years. If there's any deficiency, we recommend programs that you can undertake while you're still at work to skill yourself. That's all from my side. Then we have the MSMEs. In the hospitality sector, we have vibandas, we have mama bogas, we have so many people who are self-employed in the hospitality sector. These people, who's training them, who's taking care of them, they are employing a majority of our youth. So we have created a program called Business Development Services for entrepreneurs within the sector, and we shall be covering both the digital sector and also the hospitality sector, so that we can not only capacity build the MSMEs, but we can also create employment for youth who cannot go to school of medicine, engineering, and all that, but they need to put. The last program is executive home care. These are unique programs that we have put in place. Who is training the person you have left your kid with at home? When you have guests at home, you want to have someone at home who can serve wine, who can do mixology, who can do a specialized cooking, international cookery. So what we have done with the program is that we have looked at the programs currently in the market and created a program that combines both home first aid, child care, which is being offered by Kenya Red Cross Training Institute, while you shall take housekeeping, food production, and other programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. I think just to sum it up, we are not just highlighting the possibilities that exist for new skills. We are recognizing that there's a need for existing talent to come on board and improve their skills, gain some level of certification. I think one of the things we're trying to do is break barriers, and I'm glad to see that there are players in the industry that are trying to break what barriers of education look like. I can see Mike Mwangi from Tribe Hotel, and I know he'll share a little bit of a perspective on what that looks like. But from our end and from our influence is to see how do we merge these possibilities together. And just to launch on, I think as we were all walking in, you could see some graphics on the screen, right? And as you got your invitation, I'm sure you got to know who's eligible for this participation. So without spending a lot of time on the participation elements, just 2 or 3 people tell me what is the age gap that we are targeting, and possibly beyond just the age gap, what unique group are we trying to target for this training? So those are the 2-3 questions I'd like to throw back to the audience. If you'd engage with me, I'd be happy. Yes, Dr. Wala? Thank you very much. So yes, we are targeting youth and of course, women and men, but between the age of 18 to 34.
So they're telling me to repeat for
Yes.
the sake of the camera. So it's ages 18 to 34, so that's the youth, and mostly women also. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know.
So what happens to the rest of us? I think Dr. Ahmed has raised a very interesting question. And I think that sort of prompts me back to the two gentlemen I'm seated with here, and is, of course, the last element of our conversation right now is how can you partner with us? Before I ask them to speak and share possible ways you can partner with us, one of the few things we are looking forward to is creating additional partnerships where anyone above the age of 35 can actually come on board, especially for programs like RPL. And Tourism Fund is actually one of our initial partners. But gentlemen, as we conclude, what additional ways can the industry players seated with us today partner with us?
Yeah, the Tourism Fund, I think if I can just look at it, the way we are working with them is that anyone below 34, we are pushing them to KCB. And our Secretary General, you can join the program funded by Tourism Fund. They are funding anyone above 35, and we are starting a pilot cohort of 300, and the training is going to start next week. I can share the link if you're in the hospitality sector. So we are taking both sides. Is it equality or equal opportunity partners? Okay. But for other partners, we are looking not only on the funding side, but we're looking at job placement partners. We want to train these youth for the jobs, not to train them and go back home. So any hotelier here who want to take, we are passionate about making sure we track these youth, we put them in our alumni system, and we create more opportunities for them. So anytime you want to call for talent, just call BOMA, and we give you shortlist CVs for that. We are also looking at mentors and coaches, particularly for the businesses. Someone who has experience in mentorship can also join us. We are also looking at publicity and awareness for what we are doing. Sometimes we do so much good, but we don't publicize it. I think I'll give my colleague to continue. Thank you.
I think the biggest challenge we have in the media industry in Kenya is that knowledge doesn't trickle down easy. And so what are we looking for in terms of partnership? For you who are in this hall, in that digital space, we are looking at you to be able to pass knowledge to these young people that we are going to train. So we are looking for industry players who can help us pass knowledge to the participants that we are looking to train. We are also looking for job placement opportunities. After we've trained, as much as we are talking about Tujiajiri program, you still have enterprises that can actually take people on board. This is an opportunity for you to join us in this journey, because I believe we are just starting. There is more coming, and so it means join us as we start the journey so that we can go along together. Thank you.
Thank you. And as we conclude, I'll just ask you to join me in highlighting a very particular moment that I think Dr. Billy has highlighted, which is publicity and awareness. So I'll ask you, as we proceed to the next section, you will see on the screen access to Wi-Fi. You will also see on the screen a couple of graphics running. And my media team, in case you want any additional resources that you can use to spread awareness, inform someone about what the project is, what the opportunities are. There's a QR code that will pop up on the screen. It's actually on the screen at the moment, and it will allow you to actually register and learn more about the opportunities and even share that with your friends. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. Maybe you can join me in a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's clap for them. That was really wonderful. And at this moment, we'll take a short break, maybe introducing the band Harmonic to take us through for an interlude. Thank you very much. Let's clap for them. Let's clap for them, by the way. This is BIHC. They are students and they're really doing good. So let's clap them once again, please. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. So at this moment, we'd like to continue with the speeches, and I want to kindly invite Mike Mwangi. Mike Mwangi, if you're there, to kindly, yes, please. As you come, this is the chair of the hotel general managers and the GM of the Tribe Hotel. Once again, a round of applause to him.
Thank you so much. How is everyone doing? Pardon my sniffles, huh? I think before I start, first I want to say thank you for the panelists that were over here. It's an amazing initiative of what you all are doing. And, but keep going, and Boma College obviously always trying to transcend in everything, so well done. With that said, the chief guest, Eliud Owalo, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, the Governor of Kenya Red Cross Society, fellow directors, distinguished guests in hospitality and in the media sphere, invited guests, and ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor and a privilege as a young Kenyan to stand before you today as we launch a program that holds the promise of transforming lives and shaping the future of our industry as our community. As a hotelier and as additional honor granted to me as the chair of general managers, I'm proud to celebrate an initiative born out of a collective vision and commitment, which is also a testament of what we can achieve when we come together with a common purpose. Why is this initiative so critical in this moment? Let's consider the context. In Kenya, the overall unemployment rate stands at about 5.64% as per post-pandemic. However, the situation is even more dire for our youth, age 18 to 34, who represent about 35% of our population, but suffer an employment rate of about 12.3% or higher. As an association of general managers, we have long provided a platform for entry to industry that has long been a gateway for such budding talents. Despite the ability to offer the opportunities for in-house training for these individuals to bridge the gap, to learn, to thrive, and the gap to build skills that match global standards of existence. The collaborative project is our response to these challenges by bringing together like-minded industry players. We are breaking down barriers and easing access to training and incubation opportunities. The aim is to first shape knowledge, the skills, and the entrepreneurial abilities of our participants, thereby fostering a more robust and dynamic industry. The initiative is not just an investment in individuals, it's an investment in the future of our industry and also of our country. Through these programs, we will equip our youth, women, and domestic workers with the skills they need to build competitive and resilient careers and enterprises. We will create the new avenues for job creations and retention, ensuring that our industry remains vibrant and also sustainable. Furthermore, by supporting youth and with particular interest to women owned SMEs, we are promoting gender equality and empowering women to take their rightful place as leaders in businesses and also in our communities. Today, as we embark our journey that will not only change lives but also strengthen the fabric of our society, we're paving the way for a brighter, more inclusive future. I'm confident that this initiative will serve not just as a model for other sectors and regions, but also to be able to demonstrate the power of collaboration and the impact of investing in our own people. In closing, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our partners, including Bombers International Hotels, Switch Media, the funders of KCB Foundation, and the stakeholders who have made this initiative extremely possible. Your dedication and support is invaluable. Together we are creating a legacy, opportunity, empowerment, and growth. Thank you, and let us move forward with determination, optimism, as well as we launch the transformation of this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let's clap for him. Let's a round of applause to him. Thank you. Thank you so much. Without much ado, at this moment I want to kindly invite Pauline Nduva, who is the General Manager, Diani C Resort. Let's clap for her as she comes. Tupigie makofi mazuri. Karibu.
Wow, thank you. To our chief guests, CS Eliudowalo, we have the SG, Kenya Red Cross, Dr. Idris, Director Abbas Goulet, Director BIHC, Director of KCB Foundation, Directors of Switch Media, all invited guests, and my fellow colleagues in the industry, good afternoon. I'm honored to be here today, and I do not have a written speech to read out to you. I'll tell you a short story of my life, which brings the reason probably why I'm here today. 27 years ago, a little girl was born, and that girl happens to be my beautiful daughter. And it got me thinking on how I was going to be a mother, at the same time manage the industry shifts in the hotel industry. So I had to look for a way to exit the industry, not completely, but to be able to also spend time with my daughter. So I chose to go into training. So I worked as a trainer in Nairobi for several years, and in most of the older private institutions like Career Training Center. And then 20 years ago, I made a decision to leave Nairobi and go to Malindi and actually take training to the ground where I thought it was needed most. So I founded a school called the Hospitality and Hotel Management Institute with a partner of mine, Catherine Mwikali. And it started off very well. And then came post-election violence, and we had to fold up because Malindi, those of you who know that destination, has never recovered to date. So I had to go back into employment, went back to the industry, where in a very short span of time, rose to my current position of a GM. But my heart was in training, as still is in training. So 11 years ago, I met my current directors of Diani C Resort, Diani C Lodge, who are #1 proponents of dual vocational training. And that's actually the reason they hired me, because we shared a vision for this. And we founded a dual vocational apprenticeship program. I knocked on 1 million doors in our government offices, but unfortunately, in our training sector then, dual vocational training was not really captured well in our laws. So there are very many issues that needed to be addressed. One of them is, for example, labor issues. Where do you classify an apprentice? Are they an employee? Are they an apprentice? How do you pay their stipends? A lot of people say they have in-house hotel trainees, but they actually don't pay them anything. They use it as cheap labor, which is not right on one hand. So my directors were really focused on getting this working, and we knocked on all doors. We got a little support where we got. And several years ago, we came into partnership with the German Chamber of Commerce, AHK, or German Delegation of Industry to Kenya. And we were able to now launch the program, which is currently ongoing in our 2 institutions. But my gratification in all this is the lives that we've changed. In Kwale County, where our resort is based, the industry that thrives there is tourism. So it's our #1 employment sector. Unfortunately, literacy levels are low in that county, and most importantly also there's a very high level of poverty. So while the local people have the resources, that is the beach and other resources that attract tourism there, they do not have the capacity to actually get into the job market. And so this was our target market. We wanted to make sure the youth in Kwale County actually end up getting employment, but not just being used as cheap labor, but get properly skilled. So we've been doing this. We have a cohort that just had the exams last week, and we are ongoing with this program. And this is how I met Dr. Billy Wandongo, who was also, at the time, was at Maseno University before he joined BIHC. And we've continued to engage to date. So I'm very privileged to stand here to share my experience with these initiatives. I have seen these transform lives. I've seen young people walk in front of us who don't even know how to express themselves in public, but in just a span of 6 months, become very confident. In 2 years, they are expert professionals, and we have a lot of them right now even working in Dubai, in Qatar, on cruise ships, and locally within our establishments. So I want to encourage my colleagues in the industry here to support BIHC in this initiative. This is one way of making sure our youth out there who would never have seen the doors of college institutions due to lack of financial support would definitely build careers for themselves, change their own lives, and change the lives of their families. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's clap up for her once again. And at this moment, I want to kindly invite Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, who is the Chief Executive Officer, Music Copyright Society of Kenya. Tupigie makofi akija tafadhali. Tupigie makofi mazuri. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. My apologies, I can see, sir, good to see you. My apologies for coming late. And another event with the SOS just across here in Buruburu, and I was not sure it would allow me to come. So I sent somebody to sit in, but then I called them and told them I'll try. So I'm here. I'm Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, CEO Music Copyright Society of Kenya. I know a lot of you associate me with my previous job as the CEO of the Kenya Film Classification Board, where the media nicknamed me the moral cop. Such that if you arrive at JKIA and you ask for the moral cop, you're shown only one guy called as Dr. Ezekiel Mutua. But it's because I was regulating film and broadcast content to protect our children from exposure to harmful content and ensure that films and broadcast content and art promote our culture and our values. I think I did a good job of it. Don't you think? Asanteni sana. Thank you for inviting me. I was requested to come and talk about the area of digital media entrepreneurship, and I think I cannot cover this whole session within the 5 minutes that I see in the program, but allow me to say training is essential in this area. The digital space is the in thing. This is where everything is happening. In fact, even for you who are the analog age like myself, you got to learn now to be on the digital platform. Got to tweet, learn to be on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, not the Kanyari way, but you got to be there. I think the digital platforms are defining how life is happening. And without you knowing, they're influencing the perceptions and the values and attitudes of so many people that it's a place you can't ignore in training. And then there's a lot of business in it. If people are developing content, and our young people who are looking for jobs can learn to be creators and post their content there, and you don't have to post obscenities. You can even post cuisine and the kind of food that we produce, our culture, our music, so much that we can post there. And this is where the training element comes in, because they've been left on their own. They have a platform, and I can tell you, like PLO Lumumba likes to say, giving a young person the digital platform without moral guidance It's like a monkey with a gun, or a madman, for that matter. It can do a lot of destruction, yet such a powerful tool for entrepreneurship. I saw Butita, a comedian whom I have mentored and supported, with the president at Tyler Perry Studios, and sir, you are not put on that trip. And I thought you are the one who qualified most, and a lot of people in this room. But a young person who has stayed the course in creativity. And because I mentored him, I told him, produce content that resonates with our culture, with our values. There is money here. I agreed to be mentored. And I saw him last night at Tyler Perry Studios with the president, and I was like, yes, there are some good ones, there are some remnants. But why are there more whom we are worried about? It's because of lack of training. We have not focused on this. We condemn, we cast the darkness instead of lighting a candle and training them and appreciating that the digital space is the most powerful platform for influencing perception and shaping the values of our youth. And therefore, if you are selling end products and you consider that to be the market, and a lot of people are on that space, then the youth who are also consumers, because I think the greatest consumers of products are children and women. A lot of surveys will show that. I think equity was projected as the leading this year, and the greatest cadre of Cladel is women and children. Children is in Safaricom, I think, usage of digital platforms, or youth for that matter, but it's a space we can't ignore. And now, it looks like a context between good and evil. The bad, the good, and the ugly are in that space. And I think there must be responsible corporates, responsible members of society, learning institutions, and people like us who must come together and say, how can we use this amazing platform for good and guide our youth to know how to use it? Because while it's such an amazing platform, a lot of them are there for cloud chasing. They are there to find gratification that they don't find in a normal space. And I always say the internet does not forget. So if that guy is there saying things, when they come to interview, this is what I do everywhere I've been. I check your social media accounts. Some of them don't know they miss opportunities because of their digital footprints. So how are we helping them to understand that it's important for them? What was in that? You can tell me. I'm short-sighted. You want me to stay here? Oh, I'm a preacher in my other life. Sorry. Oh, because of this. So it means I'm saying important things. So I'll stay here. I can hold myself. So this is a wonderful platform. Kenya is one of the leading countries in terms of high-speed internet in Africa. The ecosystem, the infrastructure is amazing. But we have neglected the element of guiding our youth to understand that the digital opportunities or platforms must be used in a way, one, where they can make money. So the question comes, where is the money on these digital platforms? How do they sign the contracts, and what are governments and institutions doing to ensure that the regulations within those spaces also promote ease of doing business, so that if I develop my content, I'm a young person in Garissa or in Isiolo, in Kwale, I can do business, I can just post there, and there are regulations, how much I should be paid by YouTube, by Facebook, and so on. How many of us are having that conversation and looking at those spaces as places that we need to enhance policy formulation? So where is the money in the digital space? I think it's a conversation we need to have. And there are a lot of people who are making money in that space. There are people who are making billions out of that space. Because even when it comes to projecting brands and using these social media influencers, even as corporate, you need to check their content on that space before you give them the contract, so that your brand is aligned to the right kind of behavior. The other thing is, of course, issues of defamation and slander that can appear. Because, like I said, youths are finding some freedom to say things that they cannot tell you on your face, but they can say it under the hiding behind anonymity. And so they're having that freedom. And you know, people have been craving for freedom. When they find space to use it, they go to the other extreme. We need to have conversations around these issues so that they can also understand. Right now, I think there are some laws that are trying to do it. You cannot regulate internet. I think it's an exercise in futility, but we can make some measures. I think it's Martin Luther King who said, while you cannot legislate on morals, at least you can put some laws to deter the wicked people who want to use that space to promote radicalization, drugs, and many other antisocial behavior. And then the issues of defamation, because we have seen people have been sued for copyright infringement, for slander, for defaming others. I think it's very important for us to have these kind of conversations. But allow me, as I close, to say that rather than fear the internet, even for our children, the best way to empower society, or the best way to protect society, or particularly the impressionable groups like children, is to empower them with information, is to give them information. People who have the right information and they are helped and guided, particularly our young people, will always be able to do the right thing. Let us not fear the internet. Let us not withhold the gadgets or say these ones will destroy them. Let us instead put enough training, capacity development for these guys to know how to utilize social media spaces to make money, how to utilize the internet to make money without veering into things that will get them into the wrong side of the law. I think if I had more time, I would say much more, but allow me to close by saying that we are blessed as a country to have the amount of internet space and freedom that we have. It is freedom that you don't get. You just cross the border and the internet in Amumunya, you can't communicate. I have seen this even in some of the most exotic cities, even in Madrid, even in the US, and you don't appreciate how blessed we are as a country to have this amazing infrastructure in terms of ICT. What do we do with it so that we use it for development? We use it to mold societies. We use it to build our businesses. And as we do so, we align everything that we do to our national values and aspirations, ensure that music in these platforms is aligned to that, and the people don't just for the sake of posting, they are making money. Because it's wrong to be so famous on the internet and you are poor, your house is being locked. I've just come from speaking at a program called Film Fupi, sponsored by the American Embassy at the SOS in Buruburu. And I'm looking at the amazing young people who are there and the kind of films they are producing, and all they need is somebody to show them the way, mentor them, and give them managers. Because one of the things that I've realized that is lacking in this space, unlike in other talent-based industries like athletics, where people have to register with Athletics Kenya, there are rules of the game, you don't do doping, you don't do this. In Athletics Kenya, you can't just insult them and say, I don't care, I'm Ferdinand Omanyara, don't you know me? I'm Eliud Kipchoge. There are rules of the game. In the creatives, it's free for all. It's anything goes. When it comes to football, Michael Lunga is a product of discipline. And the rules in FKF, in FIFA, they are governed by rules, and they're making a lot of money. We need to tell our young people there is money, but it comes with discipline and obeying the rules of the game. And I think these are conversations we need to bring to the boardrooms, to the corporates, and ensure that we encourage our young people to utilize those spaces. But how do they make money if we don't support them? How do we make money? How do they make money if there are no incentives for them to create? How do they make money when you are giving those jobs and the gigs to people who I believe are not morally upright, and you give them the gigs just because you also want to play to the gallery? So as corporates, we have to be very careful, because we can set the standards. Money speaks. And therefore, if I say as CEO of Music Corporate Society of Kenya, these are our standards, and if you do not align with them, you don't get gigs with us. And that's who we are. We can all collaborate and ensure that we bring the necessary discipline, which is good for the future of our children and the youth who are using the digital space. There is enormous potential and opportunities for these guys to make money. The guy, the TikToker from Cameroon, I think is one of the most celebrated during COVID, who just made money from nowhere, just by doing fun things. That guy hardly ever talks, he just does funny things. And he's a billionaire. I think our own Alicia Majimbo is another classic example. Out of COVID, just in a place, in a corner, in a bedroom, just doing things that eventually made her the celebrity that she is. We can encourage our people to play by the rules, our young people to know there is money, but we have got to obey the rules and ensure that talents do not destroy society, they build society. Asanteni.
Thank you very much. Let's clap for him. That was wonderful. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. So at this moment, she is currently the director of KCB Foundation. She has over 25 years of experience supporting non-profit and grant-making organizations in their fund management, strategy, development, and policy formulation. Allow me to invite Madam Mendi Njonjo. Tafadhali, karibu sana. Let's clap for her as she comes. Tupige makofi mazuri. Thank you.
Thank you. Allow me to ride on existing protocols and greet you all, ladies and gentlemen. It's a true pleasure for me to be here. I think I should stand here, right? That's the proper place for me to stand. So before I get into my remarks, let me just say I'm very, very pleased to be here. It's a day that has been a little bit of time in the making, but as they say, good things come to those who wait. So with that, I'll just dive into my remarks. So good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of KCB Group and KCB Foundation, it's my true pleasure to join you this afternoon as we partner with the Boma International Hospitality College and Switch Media School to enhance the training for our youth in the hospitality sector. And this is really to allow them to unlock their potential. I want to thank the Boma International Hospitality College, Switch Media School, as well as all partners present. I recognize you for walking this journey with us as we seek to positively transform the future of Kenya youth. So at KCB, we're driven by our brand purpose. It's not here, but it is really for people for better. And this underscores our commitment to opening up doors of opportunity. So this is our ambition in terms of reimagining the future, what we really want to see in terms of standing united and sharing a really common mission to uplift lives, as well as to empower dreams and to create a positive impact. So this is why today, as the KCB Foundation, our goal is really to catalyze the development of communities in which the KCB Group operates in. So young people are a key target in our efforts since they make up the largest population demographic in East Africa. And allow me to just deviate a little bit to address a little bit of what it is that you had asked in terms of why do we focus on the youth. So I think Mike had spoken earlier about the numbers when it comes to unemployment. And what we decided to do, if I may borrow old humanitarian language, it is to really triage the problem. We really needed to focus on where the need is most critical. Unemployment is high. Youth unemployment is even higher. If you look at youth female unemployment, that's even higher. So this is why we really decided to focus on this demographic, and it's something that we really want to try and make a difference in. So how we do this at KCB Foundation is by empowering young people with the technical skills they need to be able to create, grow, and run their own enterprises, thereby enabling them to scale as well as to enhance their social impact through innovative and sustainable business models. So we leverage this through the power of partnerships to achieve this, understanding our role in that enabling greater financial inclusion and access is one of the drivers for this. And partnerships is really why we are really here today. So in partnership with the Boma International International Hospitality College, as well as Switch Media School. Today we embark on a journey to skill and upskill up to 2,000 young people over the next 6 months. So this is through various training modules. I won't go through them because Dr. Billy, as well as the panel, had really gone through what the training is about. And I think for me, one of the things that really gives me a lot of joy is like the recognition of prior learning. You know, it is a program that really seeks to democratize information and knowledge that young people and other people always had. So it is such a transformative program because it is something that believes that knowledge is something that people have. And what we're trying to do is to just serve as that catalyst that allows you, in terms of if you already had that knowledge, to really tap into that and be able to transform and transcend into maybe better paid employment as well as more opportunities. So the partnership we're talking about here is anchored by the KCB Foundation's To a Jury program, the Young Africa Works program, which is carried out in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation. And what we're trying to do in that program is to alleviate youth employment by providing vocational skills development as well as business development training for the youth so that they can set up their own enterprises. We know that the youth are very committed and very hardworking. And they've demonstrated this over and over and over again. Therefore, today, we're just enhancing our efforts to create a brighter future, not just for ourselves, but for our valued customers, stakeholders, and the communities that we serve. So at KCB Foundation, we remain invested in the future of our nation and the prosperity of our communities. So ladies and gentlemen, in closing, our goal is to work together hand in hand to enhance the opportunities of our youth. You heard what the call of partnership was all about. This is something that I think calls for all hands on deck. It's training, it's giving people an opportunity to work. If you're an employer, it's making sure you've opened those doors. If you're somebody who knows an employer, it's really something that requires everybody sitting around this room to really lend their hands to that effort. So from skills training, business development support, and mentorship, we really want to make sure that youth are empowered to become the dynamic leaders and entrepreneurs who can positively change their communities and the world. Thank you very much, and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much. Let's clap for her. Let's clap for her. That was wonderful. That was wonderful. So at this moment, if I check around, beside that you're very attentive, I think it's high time, you stretch a little bit. So I'll have requests with a lot of honor to all stand. We need to stretch just a little bit. Let's stretch a little bit. Very nice. Wherever you are, move this way. You are doing very good. Very nice. Wherever you are, put your hand this way and move. Push him nicely. And back to this. Of yours and move down. Very good. Some of you are doing better than others. Very good. Very good. Wherever you are, put your hand this way. Very good. Wherever you are, let's move around a little bit. Move around. Move around. Move around. Ladies, wapi vigelegele kidogo. Ladies. Then stretch like this. Stretch nicely. Stretch nicely. Very good. You're doing very good. Thank you very much. Osam is really good to stretch. So at this moment, I want to kindly invite Peter Opondo to kindly come. Mr. Peter Opondo, who is the media management consultant, veteran journalist, and editor. Let's clap for him, please. Let's clap for him.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have been asked to give a brief lay of the land for the media industry. And I want to begin by saying that I joined the industry about 25 years ago, while I was still a student at the university. And I have lived through the experience of the changes that have happened in the media industry. I see my former colleague Ken Bosire there. We used to work with him at the Standard. And when I joined the Standard as a second-year student at Moi University, we used to have a very noisy newsroom. The reason it was noisy is that we used to type our stories. That is just 25 years ago. We used to type our stories. When I was employed by Nation Media Group in 2002 as a TV reporter, based in Kisumu, because a bit of background, I was studying education at Moi University, so I had nothing to do with journalism, but I dreamed to do this job. So I trained myself how to operate a camera, just like you're trying to do. And then I was given this opportunity to become a reporter and cameraman for NTV, based out of Kisumu. And again, just to illustrate the changes that have happened, whenever I used to go out on assignment, I would record, and then my next stop would be two places, either a bus stop to put the tape on the bus for overnight, delivery to, that's 2002, not long time ago, or we would drive to the airport and we would look for anyone who was coming to Nairobi, and we would tell them, please, we have this news that needs to air tonight. Please, if you take it to Nairobi, we would ask our editors to pick at the airport. So the editors would send somebody to go and pick, we would pick the number of the person, the traveler, and we would have a driver go to the airport to pick. Remember, it was a tape recorder, as Kibisu was talking about. Today in the newsroom, I don't know whether people are still using tapes. They are not tapes, they are cards. It just makes some of us look very old, but that's the reality, that you use cards nowadays, and when you finish an assignment, you edit immediately, and you send your whatever to the newsroom for immediate broadcasting. So the reason I'm saying this is that if you're a student of history, you will remember that between about 1895 and 1929, there was a mass extinction of companies in the US for the simple reason that there was some disruption that was happening, and that disruption was electricity. When electricity came into place around that period, many of the organizations that were there then did not know how they would adopt electricity to improve their production. Now, I would say that today we are experiencing almost a similar situation in the legacy media industry, so to speak, because what is happening is that media companies are really struggling to find a way of adapting to the latest technological developments, especially the internet. Now, the internet is both a threat and an opportunity for me, if you ask me. But the one thing that the internet has done for the legacy media companies is that it has done what we call disintermediation. So before, you used to have gatekeepers, so we journalists, we editors used to be gatekeepers, and all the news had to go through us. What the internet has done is that it has broken that barrier, and now everybody, practically everybody, can be a journalist. Now, what that means is that content creation has become a liberal thing. Anybody can do it. So what is required right now is people to have skills to produce their own content and disseminate. But we cannot operate the way we used to operate 20 years ago, or 15 years ago, or even 5 years ago. Because as media companies are struggling to look for business models that can sustain them into the future, we are also realizing that content creation is a multi-billion-dollar industry globally. And what we are seeing is that a lot of young people, when I left university, I didn't have a similar opportunity, but I think if I had, I would have gone into a different field completely. So last night, or the day before yesterday, I was watching this young man called Obina. He started this channel called Obina TV, and he had 8 shows in a single day. I think it culminated with Sonko doing a 3-hour show. Now, what you noticed with that kind of arrangement is that he's providing employment to 3 or 4, 5 people, but at the end of the day, also his show has ads. So many ads, by the way. So I'm imagining this is an individual who's maybe providing employment to about 5 people, and his turnover revenue could be 3, 4, 5 million a month. Now, just to give you a picture of the situation, without naming media companies, there are media companies today that make not more than 15 million. Those are TV companies, not more than 15 million shillings a month. But here you have an individual whose turnover is about 5 million shillings a month. What does that tell us? It tells us that we need now to change our mindsets and go into this content creation area, because if we don't, it will be a wasted opportunity. Anybody can produce content right now, and what we call the verticals, the niches. You decide, I want to do, somebody will decide. There's a lady I watched the other day, and she was, when the country was flooding, what she was doing is that she opened a YouTube channel, and she was just moving around telling people where it's flooded. And people were watching that kind of content. She was not doing anything much. She hired a motorbike, what we call a boda, and she was just doing around this South Sea area, around Nairobi, and telling people, avoid this road, it's flooded, and that's content. But now there are people who are going to hybrid content, so you specialize health. You know, we say that I've just been training a team of media practitioners in South Sudan on what we call Mojo. Mojo is mobile journalism. And what I was telling the people, that there are a few areas where when people have challenges, they're really deep. I don't know whether you guys know this, but when people have problems in the areas of health, in the areas of money, and in the areas of relationship, those problems are very deep. So content creation is about looking into these particular areas and saying, what are problems that people are experiencing in terms of money? Can you help people to make money? That's content. Can you help people solve their relationship problems? Because every day, I mean, I don't know about your status, but I know if you have a relationship, you have a problem. Either way, if you have a relationship, you have a problem. So how can I help you improve that relationship? So health. How many people have health challenges around here? It may be you, it may be somebody else you know. People are looking for that kind of information. So in a nutshell, the internet and what we call the AI, although AI is a very complex thing, has given a massive opportunity for anyone who wants to use content to deliver a message. And perhaps in alignment to what we are doing here today, I think every company today is a content creation company. Every company. Gone are the days where you would outsource content creation. You need to have in-house the capability to create your own content, to communicate without some mediator in between with your audiences in a direct manner. So I think, to me, I have lived this transformation, and I think we're still going through that transformation in a very turbulent manner. And what we're doing here is to upskill people. So for example, I've never studied journalism anywhere at all, but I was given an opportunity to do mobile journalism training for guys in South Sudan. So the first thing I did is I joined the Al Jazeera Academy and did the training of mobile journalism. I paid a few dollars and I had my certificate and I had the knowledge. So what is required is people to look for those kind of opportunities. If you feel there's a need somewhere and you're suited for it, look for the skills, gain the skills, and go out and take up the opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's clap for him, tafadhali. That was amazing. So at this moment, I want to kindly invite Rokas Ambalaya to kindly come and say a word or two. Kindly come. And let's clap for her as she comes, tafadhali. Let's clap for her as she comes. Karibu sana.
Itifaki all protocols have been observed. I stand here representing my chairman, Mr. Samson Some of the Tourism Fund. I bring you warm greetings from the Board of Trustees and the management of the Tourism Fund. I have a speech for Mr. Some, which I have been asked to read. And this is the speech. I want to thank the founding director, Dr. Abbas Gulet, for the invitation. We gathering here today in recognition that the threat of youth unemployment is serious, urgent, and growing. The tourism sector provides a gateway for such aspiring talents to gain experience, learn, and prosper. Regrettably, it is often limitation in financial resources that serve as a barrier impeding the achievement of growth and realization of goals within the sector. Today, I must commend Boma International Hospitality College in partnership with KCB Foundation for the remarkable step in addressing this challenge. Together, we are seeking to improve the outlook of the Kenyan tourism industry. As the chairperson, Board of Trustees, Tourism Fund, whose function is mobilizing resources for the sustainable development of the tourism industry, I am honored to announce that we are mandated, among others, to establish the Tourism Training Revolving Fund that will enable us to provide funds for granting loans to assist Kenyan students to pursue higher education and support capacity building efforts for the tourism sector in partnership with various stakeholders to continuously conduct tourism training programs. In line with the national government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the fund will endeavor to ensure the growing and noticeable capacity building skills needed in tourism and hospitality for our youth to be realized. Members of society who are marginalized and underprivileged will also get grants and scholarships to help them achieve national affirmative action standards for supporting capacity training in the industry. Therefore, all stakeholders are called upon to play their roles to ensure that we all contribute towards closing this huge existing knowledge gap, if indeed we are able to compete globally for the much needed foreign exchange to drive our country's economy as envisaged in Vision 2030, as well as the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto. We do recognize the value of mentorship and experience learning in addition to financial help. We will work with industry partners as part of this project so that we provide beneficiaries with guidance, networking opportunities, and hands-on experience. We hope to support not only their academic success, but also their personal and professional development by cultivating these relationships. Once again, let me take this opportunity to welcome all stakeholders, industry partners, including Boma International Hospitality College and the KCB Foundation, and enthusiastic individuals who share in our dream to join us in this quest. We can generate a transformative ripple effect, empowering and alleviating the next generation of hospitality professionals if we work together. We must invest in a bright and more prosperous future for our industry. The Tourism Training Revolving Fund is a practical option for scaling up tourism training financing and delivering the resources that are imperative for the development of sustainable tourism in Kenya. Last but not least, I urge hospitality students to make the most of this fund. Asanteni na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you very much. Let's clap for her, please. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Now, allow me to introduce the next speaker. She is the principal of the Switch Media School and also serves as the director of the Switch Media and the group MD of Emergency Plus Media Services. She has previously served as organizing secretary of the Media Owner Association. Allow me to invite Susan Ngonga. Tupigie makofi as she comes. Tupigie makofi mazuri jameni. Karibu.
Thank you, distinguished guests, the chief guest, Mr. Eli Dowalo, Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, represented by Mr. Gregory Okal, Under Secretary Administration, Ms. Mendi Njonjo, Director of the KCB Foundation, Dr. Abbas Goulet, Director of Boma International Hospitality College and Chief Executive Officer of Boma Pan-African, Dr. Ahmed Idris, Secretary General of the Kenya Red Cross, Honorable Geoffrey Korir, Governor of the Kenya Red Cross, our esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my great honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the launch of the Digital Media Entrepreneurship Program, a collaborative effort between the Boma International Hospitality College, Switch Media School, and the KCB Foundation. Today marks a significant milestone as we embark on a journey to empower our youth through innovative training in the digital media space. Kenya stands at the forefront of the cultural and creative industry in East Africa, leading in the export of creative goods and boasting high internet penetration. Our country has become a hub for utilizing digital media to generate youth employment and drive economic development. The creative sector, encompassing digital content creation, theater, graphic design, digital animation, fashion, crafts, and more, is rich with vibrant young talent. Yet, despite this potential, we face challenges such as limited financial opportunities, low youth participation in the labor force, and weak policy frameworks. These challenges necessitate a strategic approach to ensure that our youth can fully capitalize on these opportunities available. The creative industry in Kenya has undergone remarkable changes over the years, significantly contributing to national development through job opportunities for the youth and wealth creation. It's estimated that the creative economy contributes an average of 5% to the national GDP, a notable feat that continually needs nurturing. However, the remarkable growth of this industry is just the tip of the iceberg, indicating immense potential. The orange economy, as it is popularly known, has the capacity to absorb more youth, allowing them to earn a decent living. It is against this backdrop that we gather here today to celebrate this momentous occasion as Boma International Hospitality College, Switch Media School, and the KCB Foundation seek to contribute to the vital sector of the economy. The Digital Media Entrepreneurship Program is designed to address these challenges head-on. Our mission is to empower individuals, whether they come with or without prior skills, in communication and digital media to enhance their ability to capitalize on content, develop entrepreneurial ventures in media, and acquire skills in high-demand fields. This program aims to ensure that our graduates are not only competitive in the job market, but also capable of creating their own opportunities and contributing meaningfully to the economy. Despite the potential of the creative industry, training and skills development have remained challenging for stakeholders. Many institutions struggle with insufficient capacity, both in terms of personnel and technology, to produce well-rounded individuals. Additionally, technological advancements have influenced training methods, with many institutions facing financial challenges. How can these talented and skilled youth convert their abilities into viable ventures and earn a decent living? This program aims to address this question through robust engagement between successful candidates from across the country and carefully selected trainers from the industry. The program will not only enhance the candidates' skills, but also open their eyes to existing opportunities for turning their skills into viable ventures. Our partnership with KCB Foundation is a testament to our shared dedication to this cause. The Foundation's commitment to empowering youth aligns perfectly with our vision at Switch Media. Together, we are investing in the future of our youth, providing them with the tools and resources they need to succeed in the digital age. Whereas the overall unemployment in Kenya is averaging 12.7%, the Federation of Kenya Employers places youth unemployment among those aged 15 to 34 years and who form 35% of the population at 67%. This figure is alarming, considering that the youth are at their most productive stage. Therefore, in line with the KCB Foundation's Tuajiri program, this initiative helps to equip the youth with skills to consider self-employment as a viable means of earning a decent living. Beyond digital media and hospitality, this program has the potential to impact all sectors of the economy and bring about significant changes in the lives of the youth. In conclusion, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the KCB Foundation for their support and partnership. I also want to thank all our guests for being present here today and for being committed also to this cause. Together we can create a brighter future for our youth, harnessing the power of digital media and entrepreneurship to drive economic growth. Let us celebrate this momentous occasion and look forward to the positive impact this program will have on our community and on our country. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Let's clap for her. Just on my previous introduction, it's good to articulate that she is the Group MD of Emergency Plus Medical Services. So thank you very much. So at this moment, it gives me great pleasure to invite Honorable Geoffrey Korir, who is the Governor of Kenya Red Cross. Tumpigie makofi akija tafadhali. Tupigie makofi mazuri jameni. Karibu.
The chief guest of today, representing our CS for ICT, all protocol observed. I think this is a very great opportunity, not only for Kenya Red Cross, not only for Switch TV or BIHC, but for Kenyan youth as a general. This is a very important milestone, and us as Kenya Red Cross, being the host of this event, we want to say you're all welcome. I think my function and my purpose is very simple, to say you're welcome to Kenya Red Cross and you're welcome for this function. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Tumpigie makofi mazuri. Thank you very much. So at this moment, I'll humbly kindly invite Dr. Abbas to kindly come and do his speech and also introduce the chief guest. Let's clap for him, tafadhali. Karibu sana.
Our chief guest representing the minister, Mr. Gregory Okal, the governor of Kenya Red Cross Society, the secretary general of Kenya Red Cross Society, the directors of Switched Media TV, or Switch TV rather, or Switch Media Services, the directors of BIHC, the directors of Emergency Medical Pass Services, the directors of the Boma Hotel, and I deliberately talk about these companies, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't want to talk about the event itself and the reason why we're here, because that has been adequately addressed. I just want to talk about who I represent and why are we here very briefly on who the owners are. So I also like to recognize the industry practitioners from the hospitality industry and also from the media industry that are here, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and the veterans of the industry that many I see in this room, not only Mike, but I see Chef Abdallah Masood, who is here, who is a veteran of this industry, but also a veteran in the media industry. So Kenya Red Cross, who are our host, are actually the owners of these 4 businesses I talked about. So 2 of the businesses that are here today is about BIHC, Boma International Hospitality College, and Switch Media. These are 2 of the companies, but the other 2 also Kenya Red Cross owns that people know or don't know is the Boma group of hotels, the 2 here in Nairobi and 1 in Eldoret, and then also Emergency Medical Services, of which the CEO had just spoken to us here. These are 4 businesses that were set up by Kenya Red Cross many years ago with a simple idea of saying the resources that this business were to make are plowed back into the humanitarian work of the Red Cross. Many times you see Red Cross responding to disaster in this country, and many times we do not know how they're able to be everywhere in the country before even our good government guys are not there. And I'm not talking about our good government in any bad way, but I'm just saying the Red Cross is a community-based organization that will be the first responders within the community when disasters occur. So how do they then operate? They operate through local branches, over 200,000 volunteers countrywide. That's why always they'll be the first one on the scene when an emergency occurs. A company like E+, which is the world-class ambulance services, the only one of its kind in the sub-Sahara of Africa, would always be the first responder too, along with Kenya Red Cross Society. Then, of course, there are the other 2 smaller but very important aspect of the business of the Kenya Red Cross is the hospitality school and Switch Media now, and that's why we're here. These are legal entities that were created standalone, that are run and managed through boards, but also by their own management. So here among us, you have a number of directors, people who are doing this out of their free time and free will and the knowledge that they have, that they're able to work and support the management for and on behalf of Kenya Red Cross. And if you don't mind, I'll just tell them to stand up where they are. Those who are directors serving in the various companies. Not all of them are here today, but tomorrow they'll all probably be here because we have the AGMs tomorrow. So the good gentlemen and the ladies who would be standing, Ahmed, you can stand up too. These are few of them who are here today, others aren't here, but tomorrow we have the AGM of all the 4 businesses because legally we're required by law, Companies Act, by 30th of June would have done that. So there's Sahil out there, there's Obonyo there, there was, I think, Asmahan was somewhere behind there, or was I missing that? I don't know, maybe she's gone, but we have Engineer Mahabub Malim, we have Tracy here, we have Honorable Olum, former Member of Parliament of this constituency, Dr. Idris, who is the Secretary General of the Kenya Red Cross, and Madam Susan Ngonga. Thank you very much. You sit down. Just few of them who work as directors of these companies, because these companies were set up for commercial purposes to make money but 100% owned by the Kenya Red Cross. So if you are sending a child to BIHC, we thank you, but we tell you that income is given back to the society. If now Switch Media School has just started, and we are going to train those that will train from the industry, the resources go back to the society. The same with the hotel, the same with E+. And you can talk to our colleagues and staff when they're out there for the break. So I just want to say, for me, it is very, very happy moment for me today to have reached this point. And I cannot thank our partners, KCB Foundation. As Mendy said earlier, and Mendy had to rush because KCB is releasing their first quarter earnings at 4 this afternoon. So it's a career limiting move if she's not there in person. So she had to rush and go there. But just to say that Mr. Baraza is here, and we've been working with them for the last almost 5 to 6 months to get to this day. So I'm extremely excited we've gotten to this day, and that by 1st of June, these trainings will start. The training will start and will go just before the end of the year, and hopefully there'll be more. This is the very first one among many. I cannot thank you from the industry, particularly the hospitality industry who are here today and who have already given us some of your stuff. The whole issue of BIHC as a school is basically to upscale, to train, to have Kenyans compete not only in this country, not in this region, but globally. And the simple story of BIHC that many do not know, it was started roughly about 9 years ago. 9 years ago, not to compete with any other school in Kenya. I remember the minister, then Honorable Balala, asking me, are you setting up another school in order to compete with us? And I asked him, who is us? And his feedback to me was, Utalii. And I said, no, I'm not competing with you or Utalii, we are competing globally. We want to compete globally because we believe the competition is not inside the country, the competition is out there. If Kenya wants to retain its position to be the hospitality home of this continent, of Africa and Sub-Sahara, outside maybe they say South Africa, then we have to invest. And the government in the 60s and 70s invested in Utalii, yes, no doubt about that. The government and the country, Kenya, people are known, it's in our DNA to be the home of hospitality. But we've taken it for granted for far too long. For far too long, we've taken it for granted. For far too long, we've mismanaged it. For far too long, Utalii, that had been the example premier school on the continent of Africa, had been mismanaged. And we are shy to say these things, but I'm not shy. I would say we have mismanaged it over the years. That it's become a pale shadow of its old glory. It was a Pan-African school. People knew. You go to West Africa today, there's still remnant of people from West Africa and Kenyans, many of them working in West Africa, that were ex-students of Utalii. You go to the Middle East, you find them. You go to Europe, you find them. But here, we had lost the momentum and the energy. So when BIHC was being set up in 2015, people thought we were crazy. And if I tell you how much we invested in BIHC, you'll be shocked. It's only about $470,000 US to set up the school in prefab buildings there 9 years ago in this compound, and you can take a tour. 27, of the 47 million that was, 27 million came from Kenya Red Cross, and 20 million was a loan from Boma Hotel. Within 1 year, and this gentleman called Olum was a mad person like me, the two of us agreed we need to set up a school. With 47 million, we set up a school. Today, the school is valued over $1 billion. Okay? And it's still growing stronger. Today, this school is the #1 school not only in this country, but on this continent, and I'm proud to say that. So it's possible, it's doable. It's not a miracle, it's not rocket science. The school has been registered through TVET, and if DG TVET was here, he would tell you this is his preferred school. Not that he doesn't like other schools, he loves all of them. Probably I shouldn't say this for him, but I know how this school is close to his heart because it gives him all that he requires in terms of the TVET work. It is ISO 2015-2000 certified. It is a center of excellence in culinary arts and hospitality, the only one in this country. It is also now fully fledged polytechnic, the first private polytechnic in this country through TVET. In matter of these last few years, We've been able to achieve that. Today we offer Swiss diploma and we offer Kenyan diploma. And we told our partners in Switzerland that kids do not need to travel from here to go to Switzerland and pay 50,000 Swiss francs per year per student, whereas here for Kenyan students you can pay $5,000 per year. Foreign students can pay 10,000. That's a fraction of what you would pay in Europe for that matter. And we offer the same diplomas. In fact, our school, kitchen, hotel facilities, we even have better than what our partner in Switzerland has in terms of facilities. And I'm not saying this because I just want to say to please you, it's the reality. And today we want to grow this school. This little school a year ago was contracted in an international competition in Ethiopia to work with Ethiopian Airways for the largest hotel on the African continent. There's a hotel that many of you know in Addis. It is called Skylight Hotel, 1,124 rooms, the largest hotel on the continent. They had 1,200 staff. Last year, they were number 26 out of 62 in TripAdvisor in 1st of September, when we were contracted to go and train them in 4 divisions. Divisions of security, front office, housekeeping, and what, Billy? F&B. Okay, in F&B. We took 15 Kenyans who were there for 4 months initially for phase 1 to train them. 15 Kenyans here employed to go and work in Addis for this school. So it took us almost 7 or 8 months. We've been working until this April. And by December last year, or 1st of January, that hotel was the #1 TripAdvisor in Ethiopia, from 26 to #1. So we can talk a lot on what can be done if there's commitment, if there's good governance, good management in how we do business. For Switch TV, I think we had challenges. We started late 2018, early 2019. We were the youngest TV station then. Now, of course, there are many other young ones that have come. Over a period of time, and I see Tamima in this room, we started a TV station from nowhere with no knowledge about it. But why did we start that TV station? We say on the African continent and in Kenya, over 70% of the population is below 35 years of age. This youth we talk about. Not only in Kenya, but the whole of Africa. 70% is below ages of 35. What was earlier being talked by a friend who was NTV and KTN, and he talked about the media and about the challenges, whether it's health, whether it's financial, or these other challenges. Working for the Red Cross for many years, Red Cross has a big program in the youth, and in the youth program, we had lots of challenges. As been talked about, content was one thing. We had lots of contents with young people in various fields. But one of the things, social problems, mental health or financial, single household headed, and Tamima used to run a program when she was here with Switch TV. We started a TV station out of nowhere, from scratch, from zero to one day having a full-fledged, the most latest TV station in this country was in 2018, 2019 when we started Switch TV. In less than 1 year period, we were the #1 TV station in the country, youth TV station, because we are concentrating on youth content at that time. Globally in the country, we reached, I think, #5 in terms of viewership, but in terms of youth content and youth TV station, we were #1. But because of the industry and the changes that were taking place, we had not anticipated. Then COVID came, and of course, it's also a huge mafia industry, and we got our fingers burnt very seriously. And we did not hide that fact. So we changed, and I think the director, Sahil, and the rest of them here can tell you stories about why we changed. But we felt also now, more recently, the space in education and training in this field is very, very important. So we've been talking to some universities. Universities in Kenya, even in the hospitality, a lot of them offer degrees. But what I think former CS Matiangi will tell you, or the late Professor Magoha, who was a very good friend of mine, would tell you the graduates who are coming out of those schools in the hospitality and in the communication industry, many of them would be unemployable because they did not have the hands-on skills. They have lots of theories. Universities offer degrees in hospitality and hotel management, but they have never been inside a kitchen, maybe inside a bedroom, inside a toilet to clean it and change, and those basic things. Our education in BIHC, and now we want to do also switch, is all about skills and hands-on skills. Apprenticeship is what we are looking at. So that's why in our BIHC program, the curriculum for 2 years of a diploma in culinary arts or in hotel operations, you do 2 terms in class, and yet you're in this environment of the hotel, and you do the 3rd term outside in one of the 5-star hotel, and Mike is one. And someone was earlier saying, I think in the debate here, Mike is one of those young, pragmatic, new leaders in the industry. He probably would allow dreadlocks in his hotel, but there are many hotels that do not allow dreadlocks. So I have to tell the students, you have to cut your hair and you have to shave your beards. And the students, of course, would say, there goes Dr. Goulet, who is now putting his own rules. Not my rules, it's the rules of the industry, but there are a few pragmatic leaders who are also changing with times. But it's a global industry, and globally, tattoos, earrings, chains and all that, beards, when you're a chef, it becomes a major issue. So it's a cultural thing that we have to deal with too. So I just want to say that we're excited for this partnership. We're excited for you in the industry wanting to work with us, because some of these jobs are guaranteed. And the whole issue, what Billy said earlier of prior learning recognition, for us is a new recognition. We've just gotten status from TVET, and that's why I said I love TVET, because once you're able to produce results to them, then they give you these recognitions. And for us, even as far as Ethiopia, the whole of Africa, prior learning is a major, major, major issue. People have skills, but no certification. So that 70-30 Billy was talking about earlier is something that we really want to grow with KCB Foundation and others in this country, to empower people so that you can be upskilled in your training and your skills, not only to work in this country, but globally. You know, look at a country called Philippines. One of their biggest industries is manpower and labor. They have a ministry for labor for overseas laborers, and these are domestic workers. Domestic workers in Europe, majority of them will be from Philippines. In Middle East, from Philippines, because their government has invested in that. So it's a challenge, one chief guest, what government also should do, and there are people from various parastatal bodies here. How do we collectively want to remain the most forward-thinking government if we are talking about upskilling and educating and empowering our people? We are tired and sick and tired of hearing about our domestic workers going to Middle East and being abused and killed and all that goes with it. Because then if they are properly trained, they are properly educated, they are properly empowered, and the Ministry of Labor or Employment really takes care of this, our countries can work with other countries and engage them. As we prepare now, they say in Saudi Arabia, they're building a completely new cities called NEOM, where they're looking to hire thousands and thousands of workers in the hospitality, in the medical, in other fields. How do we prepare our people to upskill them, educate them, to be ready to go out there? The competition, many times we want to compete with our neighbors here. As Honorable Raila says, you want to compete with that Singapore, with that South Korea, you know, you want to talk with those giants. That's where you want to put your competition, not with our neighbors next door here. Not to say we disrespect them, no, but it's a global competition, and that's why BIHC as a school, and hopefully Switch Media will be, we want to compete globally for global markets. We want Kenyans to go there. I give you final word. We have, for example, the Swiss government who is financing students to come to this school from other parts of Africa because of the migration program. The whole problem of migration, why are people migrating to Europe and North America or to the Middle East? It's simply because of economics, no other reasons. 500 years ago, the explorers from Europe were coming to Africa and Asia for what? It was all economic migration. They were not coming here for the love of Africans or Asians. They were coming here for their own need for resource to rebuild Europe. And why are Africa and others going to Europe today? Because your own economy cannot keep you here. Our countries, we have not worked hard. Why do we have Al-Shabaab? Why do we have Boko Haram? Why do we have all the youth issues we talked about, drugs and substance abuse? Because something is not right in our system as a society, as a community, as a country. And we must address these issues. If we don't, then you'll be producing more in these other fields, which is not necessary. But if we can train them here, Artisans, when the Chinese were building this expressway, they could not get enough builders from Kenya to go build. And they'll pay. And the government should say, for you to build this road or this infrastructure, X number must be hired locally. But what they'll tell you, they rather bring their prisoners from China to come and build these roads. And where are ours? Where are these young people who are going into Mungiki and whatever other groups of people we call Al-Shabaab and Boko Haram? We need to empower, train them here so that they don't go out. They need to build this economy. This economy needs to work 24/7. So I just want to say, for the industry supporters, thank you very much for coming today. Thank you for giving us some of your staff that need to be upskilled, and we're happy that they'll come back to you more skilled, more empowered, more educated, and now even feeling more respected. Because many times, Ethiopian Airways CEO, Group CEO tells me, and imagine Ethiopian Airways is one airline, does 10% of the GDP of Ethiopia. One airline, one company. They have multiple companies, but it does 10% of the GDP of Ethiopia. Whichever government is in power in Ethiopia, Ethiopian Airways will fly. It will not be harassed. I'm shareholder of KQ. I don't know when last I got any shares from KQ. Okay? Because again, everyone wants to put their finger into that business. And I know, Abdallah, you worked with KQ many years ago. I don't want to go there. But just to say that, look, it's all about good governance, good management, and leadership in our country. That's what we need in all sectors. And I'm not talking about government. I'm talking about the institutions and the organizations we run and we manage, individually and collectively. So Kwale, I'm happy what you said, my dear. We would be happy to work with you if we can partner with you to upskill those young boys and girls, not go into substance abuse, into drugs, into early marriages and pregnancies and all the bad vices we talk about. The same in Kilifi. And Kilifi, I'm also very sad to see what happened with the college there. I wish today the government would give us Kilifi a college of tourism and let it be run differently. Even with Ali, it just needs new leadership. It doesn't need anything else. It's a rich institution. But I'll stop here, and I want to, with humility and respect, invite our chief guest, representing the minister, Mr. Gregory Okal. You're most welcome to speak to us.
Thank you, Director, the CEOs present, top management, stakeholders who have been here since morning. Good afternoon. Before I read the speech of our CS, Eli Doulo, I would like to thank the following for what they have done. Our students who have been entertaining us since morning. They have really played a critical role. The speakers, key speakers who are the panelists here, they also emphasized on the role of the media. Then the key speakers from the CEO, Kenya Music, Kenya Copyright, and others who talked on the issues of digital platform, the effects, both positive and the negative, and on the way forward on how we can use the digital platform. Now, let me go to the speech of the CS, Eliud Owalo, who was supposed to be with us here, but he could not make it. Good afternoon. It is an honor and privilege to stand before you today as we launch these significant training programs initiated by Boma International Hospitality College and Switch Media, funded by the KCB Foundation. This event marks a pivotal moment in our commitment to enhancing skills, development, and fostering talent in Kenya hospitality and media industries. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to Boma International Hospitality College and Switch Media for their visionary leadership and dedication to nurturing the next generation of professionals. Your efforts are not only commendable, but also essential in the shaping a prosperous future to our nation. I equally applaud KCB Foundation for seeking to extend their footprint to impact communities and influence the right policy to create effect in the communities which they operate in. As the Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and Digital Economy, I'm deeply aware of the transformative power of education and training in building a robust and dynamic economy. Our ministry is committed to fostering an environment where talent can flourish and where the youth of Kenya can access to opportunities that will enable them to excel in the digital age. In line with this commitment, my ministry has embarked on several initiatives aimed at promoting training and development across various sectors, such as digital literacy programs. We have launched nationwide digital literacy campaigns to ensure that all Kenyans, regardless of their location or background, have access to essential skills. These programs are designed to bridge the digital divide and empower our citizens to participate fully in digital economy. With the amended CDF Act provisions, up to 3% of these funds can be utilized to set 1,450 digital hubs across the country, and we believe that these are critical opportunities for access to digital jobs. Players like you will foster the requisite skills to make youth competitive access to these opportunities. The other one is public-private partnership. We are actively collaborating with private sectors partners to foster more training opportunities. Our new strategic plan seeks to enhance the reach by ensuring that over 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic are laid over 25,000 Wi-Fi hotspots exist by working with strategic partners in the technology. With this basis, partnerships like the ones we see today with Boma International Hospitality, College, and Switch Media are critical beneficiaries of such access, ensure hands-on the experience and industry relevant to our youth can provide through dynamic, digital, and blended approaches. Then there is the innovation hubs and incubators to support the growth of innovative ideas and entrepreneurial ventures. We are establishing innovation hubs and incubators across the country. These centers will provide the necessary resources and mentorship to young entrepreneurs, inventors, innovators, and helping them to turn their ideas into viable businesses. Support for creative industries. Recognizing the potential of our creative industries, we are providing support and resource to artists, filmmakers, and media professionals. Studio Mashinani is such a project my ministry is running, which aims at enhancing availability of accessible recording studios and enhancements of self-employment for artists in the robust creative music industry. Initiatives like these training programs are vital in equipping our creative talent with skills they need and to compete on global stage. Today, as we launch these funded training programs, we are taking a significant step towards realizing our vision of a digital, empowered, and innovative Kenya. The hospitality and media sectors are crucial to our economic development, and by investing in training and development, we are ensuring that these industries continue to thrive and contribute to our nation's growth. In conclusion, I would like to reaffirm my ministry commitment to supporting initiatives that foster education, training, and innovation. Together, we can build a future Kenya where every Kenyan has the opportunity to realize their full economic potential and contribute to our nation's prosperity. I additionally urge industry players present here as well as KCB Foundation to expand their reach to other key sectors such as healthcare, agriculture, and emergency responses. Thank you and congratulations once again to Boma International College, Switch Media School, and KCB Foundation for this remarkable initiative. Let us continue to work together to create a brighter, more inclusive, and digitally empowered Kenya. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. At this moment, I want to kindly invite Dr. Idris to kindly come and award our chief guest a token of appreciation. Let's clap for them, please. Let's clap for him as he receives that.
And without spending any more time, we'd like to officially launch the program. So as we begin the launch process, I'd ask you to, first of all, kindly stand. And I'll encourage you, on the screen behind us, we will have a countdown. And I'd like to invite a few people on stage to join me for the countdown. So I'll invite Ms. Dorcas, kindly. I'll also invite Benson Kioko from KCB Foundation to kindly join me on stage. And Dr. Baskule. Yes. Great, so we'll have the countdown on the background just in a few seconds. Five.
Let's clap, let's clap, let's clap, let's clap. Beautiful. Please continue clapping, tafadhali. Continue clapping.
May I take this opportunity to announce that it is now officially launched.
Thank you so much. At this moment, once again, I'll urge the chief guest to walk down with us, inclusive of Baraza, and also Madam Susan, down to the cake, and also Dr. Wala, and to kindly come over and cut the cake. Also, our Honorable Koril, kindly join them. So kindly let's follow them, as I had mentioned earlier, so that will be more visible to everybody. Because it looks good, need to be seen. Make sure also our chief guest holds the knife, the band. Yes. As you cut it again. Thank you so much. I'll request the rest of us to have a seat. As the cake will be cut and shared. Because at this moment, I would like to invite Sahil, Seth, to kindly move a vote of thanks. Kindly, Karibu.
Thank you very much. I won't take too much time. I think that cake is looking very nice. And I won't delay anyone's tea. Allow me to write on everyone's protocols and save you all a precious few minutes. It is with immense gratitude and appreciation that I stand to deliver the vote of thanks for this launch. Of course, starting with our chief guest and his representative, Mheshimiwa Eliud Owalo, represented by Mr. Gregory Okal. Thank you to the KCB Foundation, of course, led today by Ms. Mendy Jonjo, for all the support behind this venture. And your dedication has been truly valuable in taking us over the edge and getting this program started. I wish to also express a sincere gratitude to our captain, Dr. Abbas Goulet, who's, of course, a director at BIHC, but also the CEO at Boma Pan-African. His leadership has been truly instrumental in taking us forward. And of course, I would like to thank all our speakers. All the insights have been incredibly valuable. And just to thank you all today for coming. It's been a very, very long journey for Switch Media, for BIHC. As you can see, we've made incredible strides, and all for the best cause in continuing to serve our country in the best way possible, through humanitarian efforts, through serving people directly. I am truly, truly privileged to be part of this team at Boma Pan-African, a truly outstanding team who've created enterprises that actually act for the betterment of all society. And I think that's the ethos through which the Kenya Red Cross itself and Boma Pan-African continue to drive work, is for the people of Kenya. And we continue to put the best foot forward and ensure the resources that have been placed with us are fully utilized. So with that, please enjoy the rest of the day, enjoy your tea and the cake, and I wish you all a good afternoon.
Thank you so much. Let's clap for him. That was wonderful and brief and nice. So thank you very much. I just want to highlight that for those people who would like to partner with us, kindly proceed to the Boma Inn Hotel and ask for the holding room. Other than that, at this moment, I want to kindly request the chief guest to kindly be escorted by the director and our guests who are the front row, kindly to follow as well, to also follow as well. And as they do that, let's clap for them, please. That was amazing. That was amazing. We'll let them walk fast. Once they do that, once we are through, we do have a cocktail. We do have a cocktail that is provided outside. So feel free to mingle, feel free to enjoy the cocktail as we are finished. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I've been your MC Peter Getao, alongside Harmonic Band. Thank you.